Leave it to Marvel Studios to ruin the approximate 72 hours worth of good grace they built up with Deadpool and Wolverine. And they ruined it with one of the biggest bonehead decisions yet. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Now, I have no doubt in my mind that the timing of this announcement was very intentional. Yes, I know it happened at San Diego Comic-Con, which is a planned event. But in the feeble minds over at Marvel Studios, they thought for sure that this was going to be the 1-2 punch of good word of mouth that they needed to carry them through the rest of the year. But it didn't exactly work out that way, did it?
You serious?
Now, we're still seeing a good amount of positive reactions for Deadpool and Wolverine rolling in, which is to be expected. For that movie, the hype hasn't had time to wear off yet. It's still too fresh. People can't truly see that movie for what it is just yet. But give it some time, nostalgia is getting stronger, but the end game is still going to be the same. But as far as legitimate backlash to the Robert Downey Jr. announcement, that one hit like crack right away. And nothing could have prepared Kevin Feige or Marvel Studios for the onslaught of what the f*** were they thinkings in relation to this announcement. Well, let me answer that question for you because I know exactly what Marvel Studios is thinking. The Robert Downey Jr. announcement is very much a byproduct of the No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine way of doing things moving forward. They've already shown themselves to be incapable of evolving their brand into something people give a shit about, so let's just go back to what works. It's easy, it has the desired effect, because our fan base mostly consists of desperate fanboys. Just go get recognizable faces and put them in new movies, even if it doesn't make any sense story-wise.
Because it's all part of the plan.
All that matters is the nostalgic feelings that something like Robert Downey Jr. in a new Avengers movie might inspire. And you know what? Sadly, it might actually work, because the normies don't really know any better. But much to my surprise, the internet wasn't so accepting of a Robert Downey Jr. return. At least not in this capacity. In fact, for the last couple of days, the internet has been mostly brutally roasting the decision. I'm getting mixed signals as to whether or not people are still buying into Marvel Studios' bullshit overall, but one thing is definitely for sure. Tony Stark's death meant something to people enough that they aren't just going to be accepting of anything. I wish they had that same energy with Logan, but let's move on.
Go f*** yourself, pretty boy.
Some of the reactions to the Robert Downey Jr. announcement include ones like this. I hate being one of those fans, but this can only be exciting to people who have never touched a comic book in their life. Now, before people start showing up in the comments and talking about variants and the different versions of Doctor Doom that have existed in the comics over the years, take this into consideration. I'm sure that there are people who have been waiting years to see a more comic-accurate, traditional Doctor Doom in the MCU. So is a variant or an alternate version of that character really the best decision on the first time out? Let's see if me saying that about Doctor Doom has the same effect that it had when I said it about Namor. My guess would be probably not.
That's racist.
Yes, this does very much feel like an instance where certain fans don't really have a clue about these characters prior to 2008. Because the rich history of Marvel Comics on the page is nothing more than a footnote to some of these people. And that's a real shame when you realize that these movies wouldn't exist without this very rich source material. So maybe just a little bit of respect is in order. Rudy A on X said, "This reeks of desperation. It wasn't bad enough to bring back Hugh Jackman after closing out his character perfectly with Logan. No, they have to do it again with Robert Downey Jr. This is absolutely pathetic." I agree, Rudy. It's nice to see that there are still some people out there who have respect for the past, instead of being okay with it being used as a machine to print money. This is desperate and pathetic, and I don't know why more people don't see it that way. You think it's a coincidence that nobody gave a shit about Love and Thunder, Quantumania, The Eternals, The Marvels, or the countless dog shit Disney Plus Marvel shows, so Disney is now turning to resurrecting people and characters that were killed off.
You're pathetically predictable.
A great finale be damned. If there's money to be made, we need to wheel those back out there and tell Kamala Khan to hit the bricks. Then we have this gem from KG, who said, quote, Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom is the most throw idiots a bone move I've ever seen. And frankly, I couldn't agree more. This is nostalgia pandering at its finest, and some people will eat it up because they've already shown that they are willing to. This is why people with actual standards are labeled as haters and aren't invited to Hall H, because we wouldn't react to this in the same way that the lapdogs in attendance did, screaming like they just saw the Beatles for the first time, or whoever's popular now. The fans who actually care are the ones who are asking questions like, who asked for this? And why are they doing this? You must not be afraid to ask questions. You must not be afraid to challenge your natural desire to be complacent. Because in the end, that's how you will end up back in a situation where we are getting good Marvel films again. Or maybe Marvel movies just stop altogether. A little bit of downtime would do this brand some good. Maybe they could regroup and come up with something a bit more worthwhile.
That makes sense.
Or you can continue to support Disney's manipulative bullshit and keep getting treated like an idiot. The choice is yours. Criticizing the Robert Downey Jr. announcement is the 10 steps forward that we needed after the 15 steps backwards we took with Deadpool and Wolverine. It may not be huge progress, but it is a step back in the right direction. So instead of saying Marvel, don't f this up, I'm going to say audiences, please don't f this up. Because the future of cinema depends on you.
Y'all be cool. Right on.